go ahead and get into this. So after months of leaks, rumors, just back and forth Discord, Harley just decided to pop a little teaser out that said, you know, on June 7th, we are going to reveal these new CVOs. And they gave us a decent look at the CVOs actually on like a long windy road. Let's be honest, this is a, you know, it's a short, quick, hype video that Harley is infamous for doing. So, but at the same time, they do it well. So I'm very excited to see this. And when I saw this pop up and when I hit play, I was like, this is great. And watching it, I was like, this is really good because this is more than just repainting the bike again and jacking up the price. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, these look like Indians. These look like Indians. Let me just say this straight out. Like, I've mentioned it in other videos, but like you take like the Indian Chieftain. When they first re-released the Indian Chieftain, that had a very bubbly fairing on it and it looked like dog shit. Nobody wanted that bike. It wasn't until Indian did a direct ripoff of the Street Glide that people started buying that Chieftain. And now having a Harley that kind of looks like the Chieftain, it all goes back to Harley. So this is kind of full circle. So a Harley that looks like an Indian, it still looks like a Harley because Indian is stolen from Harley. Whatever. Nonetheless, even if you don't care about that, if you don't agree with that, let's be honest, there's only so many things you can do with a fairing. So with a batwing fairing, with a frame mounted fairing, there are only so many things you can do. So Harley is like damned if they do, damned if they don't. They're either going to be putting out the same old, or they're going to move forward and they're going to look like someone else because everybody looks like someone. Like, pull up any bagger, pull up any bike in general, you're going to find knockoffs. I mean, I've proven it before with like the Indian FTR and the Honda counterpart and stuff like that. That's not even Harley versus Indian. That is just two totally different bikes. So yeah, I mean, you can keep saying this in the comments that it looks like an Indian, but come on. So nonetheless, let's get into the other stuff. Personally, I'm going to take a little bit of a victory lap here. So you know, cue the cheering and all that. A lot of people kept saying that this bike, first off, there was one channel that was like, well, I'm very good at Photoshop and I can tell you straight out that these bikes are fake because the lighting is wrong. So the funny part about that video, because that is a real video, the guy then put out another video because we had confirmation from like forms that were submitted from Harley to Australia to release the bike over there, showing that the Street Glide was real. He came back and made a whole other video and kind of left out the fact that he called bullshit on these bikes the first time around. So yeah, good job being wrong and then good job pretending that you weren't wrong there, guy. And then you had other people that were like, oh, these are fake, these are Photoshop, these are AI. Well, they're not, they're real. So here we go. And then the other thing was a lot of people were like, oh, well, these aren't coming out till 2024. I said maybe. That's a possibility, but it seems more likely that they're coming out for 2023, and it seems really odd if they decide to put them out in 2024 because this is like a banner year for them. They're doing the 120th anniversary. So to completely redesign and re-release these bikes in an off year just seemed like it would have been a misfire, especially with all these leaks coming out. And then like, you know, when the homecoming rally came up, if they just were like, oh, here's some more CVOs that look like the old ones and we just repainted them, that would have like just landed with a thud. So great job, Harley, actually committing to releasing these in 2023. And I'm really happy that the whole time I said, I really think these are going to be 2023. Even when the Australia document said 2024, I said that didn't quite look right. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of patting myself on the back here, whatever, it happens. I'm not even the only one that like did this. I'm sure there have been other videos that came to the same conclusions. You know, the people that weren't just straight up denying it or saying that these are just like Indian knockoffs. So awesome. Okay, so with the hype video, and I'll post a link for it down below so you can check it out, there's stuff that we could confirm, and then there's stuff that, you know, is still kind of up in the air. So, you know, you had your Harley designer guy show up, and he's looking at his wall of, like, you know, all the stuff that he did, and it is kind of hard to cipher, you know, what was actually kept and what was just kind of like tossed by the wayside, or like older designs. If you look, there's definitely a lot of pictures up there. Like, you could see like multiple street glide inner fairing designs and stuff like that. We know from previous pictures that these fairings didn't make it through. But one of the things that we can confirm is when you looked at the release for the Street Glide maybe about a week ago, you could tell that there were no analog gauges. And one of the things that's on this guy's whiteboard is actually a picture of what the gauges are going to look like digital. So, you know, we'll pop that up there as well. You can see that. So yeah, Harley is definitely committing to no analog gauges. That is just, you know, it's there. It is there. That's happening. So if you want analog gauges, this is not going to be the bike for you. And this is also one of the things that does separate it from an Indian, because if you look at an Indian inner fairing, yes, it has its giant radio, but it still has the analog gauges around the edges. So this is different from Indian for all you guys who are just like, oh, it's just an Indian knockoff. Some of the other stuff that I did notice is the Road Glide. There's kind of like mixed signals being given off. So when you see it actually being ridden, yes, it's dark, it's moving quickly, but it doesn't look like there's anything really. It looks like it's just the normal frame mounted fairing, and then it has two of those like bolt-on winglets that are on the side for like wind deflection, kind of like the older bikes. But then when you look at the sketch at the end, it actually looks like the fairing is larger and is like, it's still one piece, but those winglets are actually kind of molded in and then come down a little bit further. So whether that be true or not, we're gonna have to have a better shot of the bike to actually know. But you know, maybe we have even more of a design change on the Road Glide, and that would be really cool. Some of the other stuff I saw was the accent lights that are running around the fairing on both bikes are full-time running, so expect those to change to amber when it's time to, like, you know, use your directionals and stuff like that. There still are no additional directionals on the sides of the fairing like older bikes, so it's all integrated, it's all LED, and it looks great. It really does. I like the way this looks on both bikes. We actually got to see the taillights in action too. These actually remind me of, I think like Kuryakin does taillights like this, where like it's a full LED, and I really appreciate the fact that we're not getting a bunch of like little dot lights going around the edge or, you know, something like that. It's a nice consistent light all the way around, and it's the same with the front fairing. Those accent lights, you know, you're not getting those stupid dots all the way down. It is one constant stream of light, and that just looks so much better and so much nicer. Even like when you're looking at Indian is using full LED. You look at their taillights, it's just a cluster of dots. They are LED, but it's just a cluster of dots back there, and I hate that look. So yes, these nice consistent streams of light look great. I mentioned Kuryakin because the taillights look like they are running the perimeter of the taillight when it's just a running light, and then when you step on the brake, the whole thing lights up. So that's cool. I dig that as well. I mean, it's a nice look. It's a nice smooth, clean look, and I'm so happy to not see those dots. I can't stress how much I hate that look. So another thing I looked at, and I'm still on the fence about whether these have powered windshields or even adjustable windshields whatsoever. And I'll show you the screenshot of the Road Glide on the road. And really just my issue is like the way the windshield looks, the way it kind of like fits and molds to the rest of the fairing. It all looks very clean and streamlined. And I think it would just look awful if it was to raise up at all, move forward, move back, whatever, I don't know. But I don't know if that windshield is going to adjust. The Street Glide may still adjust and the Road Glide not. We'll see. So that trigger that I saw before might just be for, if you look at both bikes, they do have like a little vent in the front of their windshields. That trigger might just be to open and close that little vent on both bikes. So it's, like I said, we can't tell yet from the diagrams, the sketches and all that stuff. So that's going to have to be something that we'll see when these bikes debut. So when do these bikes debut? Well, at the end of the teaser, it says June 7th. So expect like an online world premiere, kind of like what they do with others, you know, every other bike they've ever done. But the great part is we're actually going to see something new. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, look, we just painted these bikes a different color. We gave them 2 extra cubic inches in the engine and we jacked them up 10 grand. We're actually going to see completely redesigned bikes, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to see the breakdowns. I'm really excited to see what they're doing. I want to see them get into the VVT engine more, because that is something that is on this bike as well. It is confirmed that it is a 121 engine. Like, there are real changes to these bikes, and I'm very excited about that. Not only am I excited about that, I am excited about seeing these changes trickle down to other bikes, because give it, you know, a year or two, you're going to start seeing these on the specials and, you know, stuff like that. It's going to work its way down. So I'm very excited about the future of Harley Davidson at this moment. We'll see if, you know, Harley shoots themselves in the foot when they do the debut and all that other stuff. We'll see. I'm still sticking with my price range. I still think that these are going to be in the $50,000 range. I don't think we're going to see $60K on these. Quite honestly, it comes down to this. Harley is going to keep ticking up the price just a little bit each time, and they're looking for that breaking point. They're looking for the point where consumers are just going to go, nah, we're not doing this, and, you know, just tap out. Now, I know that they just had a CVO come out, and that was like around the $60K mark, but that was a fully dressed bike. These are not fully dressed. Yes, they are redesigned, but they're not fully dressed, which is why I'm still pegging these closer to $50K. I still feel like it's going to be kind of a hard argument to get you to like spend $60K on this bike when you can get a fully dressed bagger over here for $60K. Yes, you know, this engine is a little bit bigger and there's LEDs and stuff like that, but I don't think that there's enough of a bridge that people are going to want to like cross it. So I really think that these bikes are going to be in that $50K range at best. Like I said, I'm happy to see that Harley has confirmed these to be 2023. So, you know, those debates are just out the window now. I am happy to see that these bikes are confirmed as real and existing. So all those dorks who are like, I took a day of Photoshop class from a YouTube video 10 years ago and I can tell that this is fake. You know, all their arguments are out the window. It is great to see that this is going to materialize sooner rather than later. So what do you guys think? I'm sure we've got about 75% of the comments are like, oh, these look like Indians. Yeah, good for you guys. Your comments are as creative as the Indian design team. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dork you know who makes YouTube videos, who tells you how good he is at Photoshop and can tell when a motorcycle's fake. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see you all on the flip side.